And hello and welcome everyone to another installment of the Comic Multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. We're back again, Matt. We're here. It's Sunday night. All of our friends are here. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on Vimeo. We're on Flip. We're on Newgrounds. We're on the dark web, probably. We're
Yeah,
on
we're
Black
on,
Twitter, probably.
yeah, we're on MySpace. We're on all them,
Mhm.
all them places.
Friendster. You can download us on Napster and LimeWire. This is the only podcast that is shot and then sent all throughout time. Because that's how that works. How you been, Matt? How have been things?
Not too bad, not too bad. Been playing a bunch of video games. I
I
played
saw.
Ratchet and Clank all through live stream, and finished the game yesterday, day before.
Yeah, that's
Which is
impressive.
yeah, no, it was a really great game. It was
It
so
looked
fun.
great.
Yeah,
Everyone's
it
saying,
looks fantastic.
oh yeah, everyone's saying it's one of the first games that truly, truly justifies all the next gen stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing what they were able to do with that, with the 60 FPS and the ray tracing and then making it all just like come together and not a buggy mess. I don't think I encountered any
Yeah.
bugs. I had my system crash once on stream, which is fun.
Ah, that's a shame. Man, yeah, just Insomniac been killing it all over the place with that, with Miles Morales. What are they gonna do next?
That's the insane thing. These guys made this while like making like Spider-Man and Miles Morales and everything. And those games are top quality as well. Like none of them like suffered.
Jeez, everybody, get on freaking Insomniac's level, why don't you?
Yeah.
Seems to be the main takeaway from this. Yeah, my week has been pretty solid too. What have I been up to? I started that Netflix show narrated by Patton Oswalt about the Penguins. That's fun.
Okay, I didn't know anything about that.
Yes, it's about the migration of the African penguins in a small town in South Africa, where every November they come and they just take over the town and they bone, and it's just pure chaos.
That sounds great.
It is. It's very fun, and of course they do that thing that certain Disney documentaries do, where they'll like give what is it, all the little penguin families names and characters and everything. So
Hmm.
that's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what I've been doing. Obviously, I watched the new Loki from this week.
Yes, that was great.
That was, yeah, man. Again, I really appreciate how all these Marvel shows are striving to be different. This one is not afraid to be conversational.
No, it's not. I like that a large chunk of it is conversational, and it kind of makes sense as well, because like Loki's whole deal is manipulating people, and
Hmm.
what best way to do that is like social engineering.
Yep, loves to hear himself talk. A fact of which that Mobius even brings up.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
also loves to hear himself talk. Tries to screw him over right away in their first outing, and I'm like, yeah, that all tracks.
yeah.
I also watched Batman: The Long Halloween Part One.
I haven't watched it yet. Haven't had time yet.
It is interesting. I'll be very compelled to hear what you have to say about it because, as far as adaptation goes, I think they nail a couple of the key scenes, but I miss a lot of the stuff they ended up having to cut out, even making it two parts.
They don't what is it? Re remake the story like they did with Hush or anything. Like suddenly
No.
Riddle is the fucking villain or something.
No, I'm happy to say so far it looks like they're actually sticking much closer to the storyline from the comic, thank God, because
Good.
Long Halloween is one of the best mystery stories
Yeah,
in all of comics.
yeah.
They do have to create a couple action scenes out of whole cloth because it's like, oh, fuck, this comic is, again, pretty conversational and pretty cerebral and pretty mystery-ish, and if we don't have an action scene here, the whole movie's just going to be Batman standing on rooftops talking to people.
Yeah.
The actual stuff with Calendar Man, they nail. It's basically just that scene word for word, and the guy they got playing Calendar Man is really, really good.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good. It's funny. One of the more interesting things the movie does is actually try to do a little bit of colorblind casting. Because if you go back and read the original Long Halloween, a lot of white people going on here. So they're like, okay, what if the Irish gangsters can be Chinese gangsters now? Okay, that doesn't change much, sure. And what if Renee Montoya can be here too? And what if Jim Gordon has a friend who is a black cop? Okay, sure, we'll do that then.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? Why not? So yeah, overall pretty decent. They make some weird musical choices though, mainly that many scenes don't have music.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like they couldn't decide, on what score the movie should have, so they just decided in many scenes for there to be no score.
Okay, yeah, save on the budget.
I guess, and I'm thinking, I'm like, did I grab like an incomplete version of this movie? Or are they gonna
You
have
got
to
the work
patch in?
print.
Yeah, is this a work? I literally thought, is this a work print? Are they going to have to like patch the sound in later?
That comes in, yeah, the next patch.
So weird. It's going to be crazy too for people to see this movie and realize, oh wow, Nolan stole a lot from Long Halloween for Batman Begins and Dark Knight, especially.
Yeah, yeah.
That big scene with the money, it's from there. Gordon, Harvey, and all of them working together in the early days to clean up Gotham. That's from there too.
Yeah.
So much from there. Again, he said it wasn't a reference, but who was the commissioner in that movie? Commissioner Loeb, who wrote The Long Halloween, Jeff Loeb.
Yep.
Which, again, I refuse to believe that wasn't a reference.
Oh, that absolutely was.
Again, Nolan was weird about that back in the day. Like, no, I took no reference from this. Really? Because it seems like you did.
Yeah. Oh, everything he did was referenced to something in the comics.
Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, that's the kind of week I've been having. What about you, Matt? Anything else?
No, I've just been playing some video games, reading me comics.
Right on. I got a good deal, and again, I know I shouldn't do this because I haven't finished any games in a long time. But Shadow Warrior 1 and 2 were like $20 on the PlayStation Store, so I picked up those.
Nice.
I'm making my way through Shadow Warrior 1 now because sometimes it's just fun to shoot something.
Yeah, and that's all that game is. Just shoot something for a couple of hours. I am exactly the same. Every now and then I'm like, I just want to shoot something. I don't want the fucked story and character progression. I just want to shoot something.
And that game has all of that going for it. Again, still making my way through Mass Effect 1. In fact, hey everyone, if you want to see my Let's Play, episode 1 of that, the first 30 minutes or so will be dropping Monday morning, and I have like 5 banked, so get ready for that.
Nice. I've been doing that with my Ratchet and Clank thing. I do the stream and then I'll cut it up into parts. So I've got like the whole game now, so I'm just going through and cutting it into parts.
Smart. This week too, this was a rare and interesting week where I only had 5 new books, which means I got to read everything that was on my new list and actually dip back into my backlog.
Yeah, I kind of powered through a lot of my backlog comics this week as well.
So, hey, if you've been dying for me to catch up on the last Wolverine before the new one comes out this week and catch up on Captain America before that comes to an end in July, don't worry, because those are the 2 I was actually able to get to. So that's good. I guess with that, everyone, we can hop into the news from this week. Not a lot going on, but some interesting stories all the same.
Yeah.
We got a little bit more insight to start things off on Marvel Dark Ages, which is Tom Taylor's big series that he's going to be writing for Marvel now. That's got everyone very excited because obviously, most of Tom Taylor's other big work, outside like Laura Kinney Wolverine has been DC stuff, but they're giving him a whole big side event.
Yeah, and it's about time this decided to actually come out.
Yeah,
when was this teased? Like, it was teased ages ago.
Pre-corona, so probably like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. We got to see some cool poster works of all the different characters, and basically the tagline for this is like, what happens when the superheroes lose, and where were you when the lights went out?
Yeah, your classic, what is it? Your classic event sort of teaser.
I thought you were going to say classic Tom Taylor, end of the world, everything is
fucked. Yeah, that too, yeah. He's, he entered the DC universe. He's going to end the Marvel universe next.
You got to wonder if, the elevator pitch for this was someone saying, look, can you Injustice but for Marvel?
Probably, exactly. It's like, can you do what you did with Dead Earth and Deceased and Injustice with Marvel characters now?
Can you pay me for it? Sure. Okay, then I will give it a shot. I'll give it the old college try. And it looks cool. And I mean, Taylor has a, resume of quality and everything behind him, so I'm definitely interested to see what happens when he gets to play with the entire Marvel toy box.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and it isn't in the main continuity, so I imagine he's going to have a lot more freedom to, again, kill who he wants, elevate who he wants.
Oh, absolutely. He's gonna go ham and just like kill everyone off.
Here's my question: who's gonna get the Green Arrow, Black Canary treatment and be like, oh, they're actually way more important and way more relevant in the Taylorverse?
Probably Wolverine. X-23.
Yeah. That'd be worth it just to see him elevate that character and get to work with him again. Obviously, Spider-Man is front and center on the cover. We got Black Panther, the Hulk, Iron Man, a pretty different looking version of Iron Man too. The armor looks all crazy.
They all look pretty different. The Spider-Man costume is different as well. It's like a mixture of his what's that one? Oh, fuck. It's the one where he wore like the jeans and like the red
yes,
tabard sort of shirt. Oh, what story is that from?
Yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Which again, I guess that helps to place it in its own universe, and that is like, look, these are the characters you know and love, but with a little different spin on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's Marvel Dark Ages for everyone. It actually seems like it's coming sooner rather than later now.
Pretty sure it's coming, about September-ish.
Yeah, a lot of the stories we're going to be talking about now are actually dropping in September. So, something to look forward to after the big summer event season. Now, from there, we actually got a little bit of sad news here. This isn't about a new series, but a cancellation. It was announced kind of out of the blue and only after I caught up, which really, was a kick in the nads. But Jean Lewin Yang's Batman Superman book is actually coming to an end as of issue 22. Fuck.
Yeah, which is really fucking weird because the current story actually finishes in issue 21.
I know, right? So we literally get the start of a new story, which looks to be based around Mr. Mxyzptlk and the Calendar Man. Again, interesting, as we just mentioned, Long Halloween, and so they're killing this one. Fuck.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll stay dead for long. I think they're probably killing it because it's going to start up again, and I kind of guarantee it'll probably start up again with the John Kent Superman and the Tim Fox Batman.
Right. Yeah, we theorized this before.
Because both those have books coming out very soon.
That's right. I didn't even think about that. You can't have a Batman Superman book because Batman and Superman might very well be different in the next little bit.
Yep.
Huh. I mean, it could be worse, though. I wonder if Jean Lewin Yang is going to get kept around as writer because, man, this arc he's doing right now with the Archive of Worlds and everything is just so fresh and so creative.
It's so fucking cool, isn't it?
It's the best. It's literally the best. The man cracked the code and figured out how to do Golden Age serial superheroes in the year 2021 and have it make sense.
Yeah.
So it would be a real shame to lose him after what is essentially only one arc, even if it is an amazing arc.
Yeah, it's a long arc as well.
Very, yeah. I read issue 18 again just this week, and I'm like, oh wow, this story actually keeps going for another issue. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, sad to see this one go, but I guess it also frees Jean Lewin Yang up to do something else, anything else.
Maybe a sequel to Superman Smashes the Klan.
That would be fun too. Again, there's any number of places I would absolutely love to see him go. Maybe he's going to do something with the Monkey Prince.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh, didn't they tease that at the end of that Festival of Heroes, Superheroes?
I think so.
Book?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they want to see what he's got going on with that one. But yeah, again, if you haven't been reading this Jean Lewin Yang series, you are missing out. And now that it's going to end up being a short run, you have no excuse to not go back and finish it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was saying to myself, too, you know what this deserved, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because they were shaking up the Batman-Superman status quo. Normally, whenever they go back to, number one, it's usually to, pop sales and everything. This Jean Lewin Yang run really should have been, a back to issue number one, so hopefully more people would pick it up.
Yeah, well, again, it kind of felt like this maybe even proves it that it was kind of like a stopgap for DC at the moment.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, oh, we'll just continue on from, Joshua Williamson's time on the book, new writer, until we move on to,
True.
John Kent Superman and Tim Fox Batman.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that because of that, too, maybe they were more willing to let Jean Lewin Yang just write whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah, and maybe as well because it gets to 22 issues, that's, technically 2 volumes they can put out and trade.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. Now, in a similar vein of another book coming to an end, not forever, but just a run ending admittedly a lot sooner than I think a lot of us considered. Nick Spencer's Spider-Man was announced this week to actually be coming to an end in September with issue 74, I do believe it is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is. I really assumed he was going for 100, but then again, if we count all the extra little side issues and extra length issues, he's probably already done 100.
As well, this could be like a Tom King situation, where he was meant to do 100 issues of Batman, but then people started getting, finding it a bit tedious with the way he'd spend like 40 issues to tell one story and everything, and be like, okay, we're just gonna cut your run short and just do what you've got now.
I sure hope it's not that, because again, I've been championing the series, but admittedly the timing is a little suspect, where it's like, okay, you're taking Ed Brisson on now as a co-writer. Okay, you're actually done at 74, but wait, he's already on 67, and there's an issue coming out this week, and they've been coming out closer together. Fuck me, he's going to be done in September before we know it.
I've really enjoyed like his work on the book, but yeah, as I said, it's really tedious. Like he's using 30 odd issues to tell a simple story, and like there's like no, like he's leaving all the fat on the issue basically.
Yeah, I was never bored, even at sometimes if I was a little tired, where it's like, okay, I want to see where you're going, but can you hurry it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, as Janie in the chat says, but superior foes, though. Exactly. That was the carrot and the stick that kept me going. But superior foes is great.
Yeah, and he definitely threw a lot of that into that book.
Sure did. If you wanted a sequel, you got to read this. If nothing else, judging by this cover for issue 74, it looks like Spencer is going to be leaving it in a pretty happy place, because it's Spider-Man and MJ back together. Do you think he's going to finally reinstall the marriage, which certainly seems to be something that they've been, teasing, either literally with everything going on with Kindred and Mephisto, or figuratively because Spider-Man was planning to propose anyway to Mary Jane before she had to leave and do all the movie stuff?
Yeah, they probably will. I was thinking back, because when I saw this cover, I thought the exact same thing, and I was thinking, every run, from Dan Slott's run to all that have ended with something like big and like happy and everything.
Yes.
So yeah, I imagine that's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. There is something kind of interesting about Spider-Man that most writers usually try and leave him in a happy place. You're right. Huh. And I guess then, of course, the big question becomes, who's going to take the book next? Because, when Nick Spencer came on the book, that was like a big deal, because, he reinvigorated Ant-Man. He made Captain America must-read. He had huge cult hits like, Superior Foes. He seemed like the perfect person to take Amazing Spider-Man. Who's the person who you think has got to take it now? Who do you think they got their eyes on?
Probably Ed Brisson.
Really? See, again, and we talked about this last week, Bresson's worker is hit or miss with me. Again, I liked Extermination, but none of his other books got me interested enough to keep reading there, which I know everyone's saying oh, really, Joel, a Canadian might write Spider-Man? And you're like, I don't know.
I could see him writing it, because he's coming on as the co-writer at the moment, and that could be a transitional thing.
Right.
Where he's I'll stay on with the last couple of issues so I know what to do with my run when I start.
I mean, Bresson is a workhorse, no doubt about it, but I don't know if he's a celebrity writer. Usually they like to have a celebrity writer on Spider-Man. Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah. Again, it could be, if it is him, it could be a thing where it's we'll have him on the book because he'll do anything.
Yeah, true enough. I pitched the idea on Twitter, obviously, because, Marvel had made some big swings recently in acquiring some old DC artists. I think the ones I'm talking about. Wouldn't it be interesting if they reunited the old Superman or the old Action Comics team and got Tomasi on this one? Tomasi and Gleason back together on Spider-Man.
That'd be pretty cool. What's Tomasi doing at the moment?
Nothing at all, which makes me think that maybe there's a chance for it. He finished up his digital Super Sons revival that ended up being a lot shorter than unfortunately many of us wanted. So I'm thinking maybe, and if the rumors are true and DC isn't doing exclusivity contracts anymore, they could very easily swoop on in and get him.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
And again, Tomasi, maybe not a triple A name, but workhorse people and maybe something to get more eyes on the book who didn't have it before.
Yeah.
That would be something. I know the chat is saying someone like Zdarsky. Yeah, I guess that would be an obvious pick as well, but then I'm reminded that Zdarsky had a Spider-Man run not that long ago. It was a different book, but he had it.
Yeah.
In fact, hey, all the stuff with bringing Teresa the sister back, that was Zdarsky's idea, not Spencer, everybody. People are forgetting that now. And all the people who don't like Teresa are oh, why did Nick Spencer bring her back? He didn't. Zdarsky did.
Yeah, and they'll immediately say it's good then.
Yeah. Matt Fraction, who, again, Fraction is working at DC at the moment right now, but that's, again, not to say, exclusivity contracts. He probably could. I sincerely doubt Hickman is going to write Spider-Man while also doing everything at X-Men.
Yeah, not while he's doing X-Men.
Similarly, as much as I love Ewing and Hickman, or Ewing and Cates, I think they all have too much work on their plate right now to take Spider-Man.
Yeah, I tell you what, it won't happen just because I think he's too busy with other stuff, and although it's not really an exclusive thing, but Jeff Johns.
That would be a freaking steal out of the blue. Coming soon, Jeff Johns on Spider-Man.
It'll be his first time writing a Marvel for a long time.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, the world would not be ready. Comic book Twitter would lose their collective mind if that happened.
That'd be great.
Shit would be nuts. You know what else would be equally nuts too? Out of the blue, who is that bald bearded stranger in the corner? It's me, everyone. It's Dan Slott. I'm back again.
Put Bendis back on the book.
Oh, yeah. He just out of the blue. Just like, wait, but didn't he leave? Yeah, but he came back.
We gave him Spider-Man and everything. Alpha's coming back, guys.
Oh, God. Alpha's back, everyone. Well, I joked about that, too, saying, hey, Zeb Wells, there's a guy who wrote Spider-Man under other people for a long time and is really funny, and Hellions is good. He'd be an interesting, kind of left field guy to write it.
Yeah.
That I think would make a lot of people happy, and people would be like, oh, yeah, Zeb Wells, good for him. Again, I don't know if they'd give him a AAA book, but still.
Yeah. But so this book ends in September. Yeah, so we'll be expecting to get a new book just by the time the new movie comes out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which, again, makes...
Got that new number one.
Yeah, exactly. Got to get a new number one in there for the new movie. That's the rules. I gotta enforce the rules. The chat said Kelly Thompson. Yeah, that would be interesting too. I don't think Spider-Man has ever had like a female writer writing the main series, and because Detective Comics just got Mariko Tamaki this year, it would be interesting to see Marvel follow suit.
Yeah, that'd actually be really cool.
Hey, what's G. Willow Wilson doing these days? She wrote probably the best Peter Parker stories of the last 2 decades. They were just Kamala Khan stories. Actually, oh shit, that's a piece of news I didn't even put on here, but Ms.Marvel is actually getting a new writer. Or did I put that on the list? I can't remember. Yes, I did, actually. That's the next story. Let's go there then. But yeah, so Ms.Marvel's getting a new writer, actually, just in time for her TV show. The book's lay dormant for a little bit, but it's coming back.
Yeah.
And the new writer on this book is Samara Amid, to which a lot of people are like saying, wait, didn't Amid write the book? No, that was Saladin Amid. This is Samara Amid. Completely different. They just have the same last name. It's a very common name. It's like Smith. What's interesting, too, is I read the little snippet interview they had with her. Because, my big question was like, all right, what direction is this book going to go in? Because obviously Saladin Amid did way more superhero stuff, more like traditional Marvel comics, where I feel like Ms. Marvel under Wilson was different, more slice of life. This new writer, Amid, has basically said, oh yeah, we're going right back to slice of life now is what we're doing. There'll be superhero stuff, but we're going right back to the slice of life stuff that people seem to like more.
Yeah, I was going to say, that stuff seems to really work well for Ms. Marvel, and that's what the people really like about her.
It's because you can't get it in any other book at Marvel. That's why.
Which is insane to think.
Yeah.
You think they'd have a bunch of different books, like here's the X-Men slice of life, here's Ms. Marvel, here's Spider-Man, here's Iron Man.
It's like slice of life stories and World Outside Your Window is literally what built the company.
Yeah.
And it's funny that they forget about that sometimes, where it's like, yeah, guys, that's why Ms. Marvel was so popular, because she didn't have a rogues gallery. She didn't have, frequent villain fights. She had regular human problems.
Yeah, the stories were really self-contained. You can just pick up the book wherever you want. Also
that, too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Under G. Willow Wilson, they were all very short, one and done, maybe 2 and done stories.
Mm-hmm.
When Amid took over, the first Amid, not the new Amid, this is going to be really confusing moving forward. The stories got a lot longer and a lot more stretched out. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. And also, too, you can probably figure, whatever, kind of feel and vibe that this book is getting is the feel and vibe we're probably going to get for the show.
Yeah, which is probably slice of life.
probably too, with a little bit of superhero stuff thrown in there, as it should be, and as it can be, because all the Marvel shows seem to be greatly different.
Yep.
Also, thank you, Saul Sereno. We love that you love the show too. Also, hey, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there as we record this on Sunday. That also just hit me now.
Yeah, all the ones that know their fathers and all the ones that don't know yet.
Exactly, because you're either one or the other. There's no in between. And with that, everyone, we got another story about another kid who could probably use some father, and actually another teen hero, and that teen hero is Toxin, who is slated for Extreme Carnage. Obviously, we talked about this before when we talked about Extreme Carnage, and that is like, oh, we got all the different symbiotes here accounted for. Wait, who's in the Toxin costume? Because Eddie was Toxin, and like other people were Toxin. Who the fuck's in that suit? New character.
New character. New kid for Dylan to fight.
Basically, yeah, that seems to be the thing where it's like, okay, so Dylan is going to be Earth Venom now, and Earth Venom needs a antagonist, so there you go. I think this kid's name is Brennan or Brendan, and how much money you bet Toxin goes to school with Dylan?
Oh, yeah, he's going to be his, in Venom 200, he got beaten up by that kid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kenny McFarlane, who may or may not actually be a reference to Kenny Kong from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
Also, thank you, Tevye, for that. So there you go, man. They're really getting all in on Extreme Carnage as your one-stop shop for everything symbiote. And to their credit, again, and we'll talk about it more when we talk about Venom number 200, but they set up an interesting status quo, didn't they?
They did. They a really cool status quo. I kind of knew it was going there, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
In fact, in this little image that you got up here, we can actually see Toxin fighting members of the Guardsmen, who seem to be like the anti-symbiote militia forces on Earth.
Yeah, hunting aliens and shit.
Yeah, like the Men in Black, but shitty.
Yeah.
The Men in Black with more implied xenophobia. Also, thank you, Tevye, for hosting as well. So, yeah, get ready for your Toxin and your Carnage and your Phage and your Lasher and your Sleeper and all the other ones we've forgotten. Because you're gonna be covered in goo. So much symbiote goo coming at you soon. Get ready for it, everybody. And moving on from there, we got one last story about a new book that's going to be starting soon. Ka-Zar, Lord of the Savage Lands by Zach Thompson. This is interesting because I know when we talked about X-Corp and we talked about the Savage Land, because obviously that was featured quite prominently in all these X-Men books because that's where they were growing their flowers and everything to make their drugs. I thought to myself, hey, where's Ka-Zar? Then I was reminded, wait, Ka-Zar died in Empire, but apparently now he's coming back to life.
He died in Empire, but he did he actually die, though? I can't remember.
I don't know. The pitch I read for this says is that they're giving Ka-Zar the Immortal Hulk treatment. I'm like, why? Just because he came back to life?
Yeah. This kind of feels like, this kind of feels like it was meant to come out earlier because DC was doing like that when they were doing originally doing Generations before it became those two special issues. Commandy was like the main character of that, and this feels like, oh, well, we've got our Commandy here as well.
Yeah, we got a Tarzan guy. We got one of them.
Yeah,
he's friends with a tiger too.
Yeah, his wife talks to animals.
Yeah, really. Also, too, I'm sure this is them priming, like, hey, everyone, Ka-Zar TV show? Ka-Zar movie appearance?
I don't know about a TV or a movie appearance, though.
Oh, come on, you don't think Ka-Zar wouldn't be a funny sidekick for something? Also, thank you, Deviant Port. Imagine in the next, Thor movie, they go to the Savage Lands and there's Ka-Zar just running around being Tarzan and he becomes their new friend.
The funniest character we've had.
Exactly. You see Ka-Zar, he's a funnier character than before. If Ka-Zar works, then the whole movie works.
Whenever he's not on screen, everyone needs to be asking, where's Ka-Zar?
Where is Ka-Zar? Come on, shoot Ka-Zar into space. He can be a Guardians of the Galaxy. The funny thing is that that's probably some shit they would have done before Guardians became a big deal. Now they're like, no, we must respect the integrity of the Guardians brand, where before it's like, put fucking whoever on. It doesn't matter. It's all bullshit anyway. Iron Man can be a Guardian. Everyone can be a Guardian. It's all stupid. And again, Ka-Zar is one of those characters I love mainly because he is so stupid.
Yeah.
He's goddamn, what is it, Jack Perry. He's fucking Jungle Boy. It's literally what he is. Man. So there you go, everyone. There's your news for this week. And we hope you enjoyed it. And again, if there's any stories you want to hear us cover in coming weeks, I guess tell us on social media. Make my job a little easier. Why not? I suppose with that, we can hop on over to what we read this week. And like I said, I only had 5 books this week, but I was able to actually read all of them, which is, good because it's been a couple months since I've been able to do that.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Where would you like to start, Matt?
Well, we had the first milestone issue with Static, Season 1.
We did. Season 1, Issue 1. I like that they're actually going with the seasoning now instead of just like volumes. Again, they're actually kind of treating it like TV. I wonder if that'll, make a big splash and get people more interested and, be able to read easier.
Hope so.
Though, admittedly, calling it Season 1, Issue 1 is a lie because there's 2 prologues before this you needed to actually read. Good going, comics. You fucked it up. Now, that being said, those 2 prologue issues are apparently free on the DC app, so you can actually check them out. But still, that's a hell of a thing if you don't know anything and be like, oh boy, my first Static comic in years. I can finally pick up and know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on because they threw me right in.
And that's the thing. It's like... It's a continuation of that milestone returns thing, and it's also sort of a retool of Virgil's origins.
Yes, absolutely. Which, again, it's they're retelling it for the second time, and all the people who got pissy the first time around that they changed, the Alva gas bombing from, a inner city gang rumble to a student Black Lives Matter protest, all got pissy again because they just heard about it again for the first time.
Yeah, so I'm fine with that. It updates the story, makes it a bit more relevant.
I said it in my video, and I think it makes perfect sense to me. It doesn't matter whether you are a gangbanger at a rumble, a student activist, or anyone in between. If you are a black person in America, you are never far from police in corporate America trying to fuck you over, apparently.
No. And, the one thing I really liked about this is that, like in the old Static, cartoon and issues and stuff, he's like kind of like happy he's got the powers and everything. He's kind of like wisecracking everything. Here he's just a miserable sack of shit.
Yeah, because he knows it just made his life so much worse and so much harder now because of it. And I guess that is the difference between Saturday morning cartoons and real life, where it's like, my life is hard enough to live just as it is. Now throw this extra stuff on top of me. And you really feel like Virgil's struggle at the family dinner table while everyone is talking about his problem around him and over him, and no one is asking him directly.
Yeah, I like that, how you get to see like what it was like before the gas bombing, and then you see what it's like afterwards and how different it is. Yeah,
crazy. It's funny too, his mother is actually alive in his character in this comic, much like in the original, but not in the show.
Yep.
So I thought that was fun, where it's like, oh, his mother, Jean, actually gets to stick around and be a character this time. And they all know his secret this time.
Yeah, and his dad, like, was seemingly training him at one point with, like, his martial arts and everything, but he stopped.
His father also looks exactly like Dwayne McDuffie now, which I thought is a nice little tribute.
Yeah.
That he just became. I'm sure if Dwayne McDuffie was alive, I'm sure he would, like, enjoy that fact.
Yeah.
As the chat is mentioning too, we got to see Richie and Frida, who look even more like their cartoon counterparts than they have before.
Yep.
Also, the fact that Richie is a prominent character from the beginning, where he was not in the comic, that was an invention of the show.
Yeah.
So they're already like, look, we know you are probably all going to be asking for Richie, so here's some Richie for you from the jump.
Well, I think they know like a majority of their audiences are familiar with the cartoon, not the comic.
Yeah,
because for so long as well, like those comics were so hard to get.
Yeah, oh yeah. Only recently did they come back into print. So yeah, it's the cartoon that was helping keep Milestone and Static alive, which is quite impressive. They already start doing some fun stuff with connective tissue, because they mentioned that the Big Bang gas came from Alva Industries, which is the big evil corporation that Dr. Metcalf, aka Hardware, works for, and we see that Virgil actually already knows Dr. Metcalf.
Yeah, he was working for him in the, what was it, Inventors of Tomorrow internship thing or something.
which is fun too to be like, no, Virgil's a super smart kid. He actually got this prestigious internship.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where he sort of like learned how to use some of his powers and learned how he can
Yeah.
contain fire and stuff like that.
Yeah, the art in this is absolutely kick ass too.
It is.
Again, who was the artist on this one? I had it on the tip of my tongue and then I
Crisscross.
lost. No, he did the layout. Someone got me in trouble for that one there. He did the layouts, but someone else actually did the art one. It was Nicholas Draper.
Okay.
Nicholas Draper who did it. It's funny. I was sitting there looking at it being like, man, there's a lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender in here with everyone swaying and
a lot
moving
of
and
anime
all
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of particle effects. Man, this comic doesn't look like anything else on the shelf right now. This is amazing. I wonder if it's intentional. And then I went, read his Twitter page there. And, like, literally it was a whole thread of him being like, oh, yeah, Virgil and Sharon totally watched Avatar: The Last Airbender growing up. No joke about it. And Virgil got way too excited and was doing all the stances and everything. And I'm like, good.
That's good. That's cool.
That also means this guy is literally our age too, who's drawing this, and this is his frame of reference. And I'm like, and all is right in the universe now, and the past and the future come together to create something new and fresh. And new and fresh is really the takeaway from this, where it's like they probably could have gotten away with just doing the old comics or just doing an updating of the cartoon, but it really feels like they want to do something different here.
Yeah, it definitely. As I said, it's like a lot darker.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot darker than the comic before it and the cartoon, definitely.
Like, the fact that a hot streak comes to his house to pick a fight with him, like in issue 1.
Yeah,
and their house
burns down his house, yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck, they're not pulling any punches on this one, are they? They're just like, nope, all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, also, is there, like, a slight allusion as well to, like, because, like, Hot Streak is, like, kind of a racist a little bit. Is there like some sort of allusion there to like burning crosses on black families' lawns and everything?
Ooh, I didn't think about that, but now that you mention, it's funny. Yeah, Francis Stone is such a weird character because like he was an inner city gangbanger too.
Yeah.
Who spoke with like a faux street like Eminem affect. But it was also heavily implied that the reason he picked on Virgil and not anyone else is because he was black and he felt he could get away with it.
Yeah.
And then even in later milestone stories, he would become an enforcer for like a KKK style group.
Yep.
But then like he kind of backed out of it at the end where it's like, whoa, I'm not like that. Like, whoa, I hate Virgil, but I'm not like white sheet racist. Yeah, I wonder if in the new version, if they would just come out and say and be like, no, Francis Stone is actually racist in this version.
Yeah, well, he kind of seems like it because I do remember in that the Milestone Returns thing, he's like picking on him because he was at like the protest and everything, and yeah.
Which, of course, is funny because that means he ended up going to the protest anyway, and he ended up getting powers and doused with it. See, that's what's going to be interesting, too, because then that begs the question, how many people were at this student rally and everything? What were their reasons for being there? That means you would have, protesters for social rights and everything on one side, and probably anti-protesters on the other side, who are like, no, racism is good.
It sounds like a, like that sounds like how you plot out like a TV show. Like that's the inciting incident. It's kind of like they done on like Flash before, where they've like, there was like the Flash wave. Who are all these people with powers? And over the season we'll see who got the powers and stuff.
That's literally what I thought of too when they did like the collider explosion in Flash. I'm like, oh, so it's the Big Bang, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, that's what they call that. The incident here in this issue, they call it the Big Bang, and everyone who gets powers is called the Bang Babies.
Which it always was. I love they keep that, where it's like, wasn't that kind of cheesy and kind of 90s? Yeah. No, you got to keep that. That's good. It's good shit. You got to keep that one. What else was there that I really liked in this one? Oh, again, too, the fact about that means that when we meet the Blood Syndicate, who they already set up in one of those other issues, they're going to have a very interesting take on all of this now, aren't they? Because everything that Genocide, I know that's his name, was saying back in the day, like, kind of rings and hits differently now. And you got to imagine it's going to hit Virgil differently, too, when he hears it.
Yep.
I'm also really excited now for Hardware and Icon and Rocket too, because I'm like, man, if Static is this different and they're taking this many chances with, basically the golden boy that everyone loved, what chances are they going to take with this other one now?
Yeah, they look like they're going to be very good.
Very much so. So yeah, Static gets a thumbs up from us. We're definitely on board for these.
Absolutely.
The chat actually reminded me too, and I feel really stupid that I didn't put this one down on our actual news briefing. So we got to circle back and talk to this. So Harley Quinn season 3, there was an interview floating around there where they asked a bunch of the showrunners a question that I actually asked them when I interviewed them, and that is like, hey, was there anything that you wanted to do that DC kiboshed? And when I interviewed them, they said, yeah, we wanted to make like what is it, Aquaman into even more of like a stoner surfer bro, and they're like, no, we're going a different direction in the movie. But that was the only thing they ever pushed back against. Apparently in season 3, Matt, they pushed back against something rather interesting that the internet was just enraptured by for at least 48 hours, and I cannot blame them, because this is kind of the perfect comic multiverse story. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Our cups just runneth over. What was DC's problem, Matt? What did they not want Harley Quinn season 3 to do?
They didn't want Harley Quinn season 3 to feature a Batman who is a generous lover.
Yes, exactly. Apparently there was a joke about Batman giving longtime love interest Catwoman some consensual cunnilingus, some consensual oral sex. And DC not only put their foot down about this, but they actually said, and I quote, and this needs to be on a fucking shirt. In fact, I'm sure it already is on someone's TeePublic somewhere. Our heroes don't do that. So your heroes are boring as fuck, is what you're saying?
Well, and everyone was quick to point out, myself included, that like DC are kind of hypocrites because they let Kevin Smith do it with Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Oh, Green Arrow was munching it all over the place in that season. Why do you think Green Arrow's my favorite hero? He's a generous lover and a socially liberal and a good man. That's why. That's how you know he's a hero. Real heroes are generous lovers. Real heroes go down south. They box at the Y. It's all good. That's even funnier, too, because it's like, yeah, we don't have these same problems for our villains. Oh, so your villains are more three-dimensional people is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the chat is quick to say, and now we all know why Catwoman left Batman at the altar. Yep.
That's what Tom King was building towards. That was the whole problem.
Yeah, that was what it was all about. It was nothing Bane was doing. It was all Batman's problem. And yet, it's just so silly and so hypocritical and just like, man, DC editorial and higher-ups, you guys managed to instantly sound like a billion years old.
I was going to say, it sounds like, it makes them sound totally like boomers.
Absolutely. Our heroes don't do that. Why? But why, though? Oh, because people wouldn't buy the action figures and the lunchbox. I'm like, dude, I'll only buy action figures and lunchboxes of dudes who are generous lovers now that I know that's a line in the sand that you're willing to draw. That shit's just crazy. Yeah, exactly. Bruce doesn't, but Dick does. Oh, Nightwing certainly does. Why do you think he's had so many love interests and stayed friends with all of them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yet another reason why Dick is better than Bruce.
Again, first Tom Taylor story was better than Batman.
Literally called that better than Batman, and now we know why. Again, see, this is why I wish Marvel had come out there too and been like Captain America would. He'd do it for America. He'd salute, and trumpets and fireworks would be playing.
Well, that's how they're gonna beat the Squadron Supreme. In Heroes Return this week.
just a big pussy eating contest.
Yeah,
and how we win. That's how we win Avengers. Avengers Assemble.
That's how the X-Men are going to beat Namor.
And Namor's like, you challenged me at my own game. Do you not think I, the Submariner, am a master of the French arts? Bring it, I say. And Xavier's like, don't worry, we made 100 clones and I psychically implanted the best techniques in their brains. And Beast is like, and I found a way to weaponize it.
Yeah, I found a way to do war crimes with it.
It wasn't easy. Stayed up all night, but I did it. Although I think the joke officially died, though, when Zack Snyder actually commissioned artwork for it.
Yeah, he ruined it.
It's like, oh, okay, and now you killed the joke. It was funny when everyone else was just alluding to it and being coy about it and everything. You went too far. Yeah. You're an adult. You're supposed to be the adult in the room, and you did this, and now it's wrong. But yeah, DC just being fucking hilarious on this one. I cannot believe it. I'm reminded, too, obviously, about the Batman Damn situation, where it's like, yes, we are mature adult comic makers now and storytellers. Batman is allowed to go full pickle now, forever, in DC Black Label, and then like Colbert and Seth Meyers and all the nighttime comedians made fun of them, and then they just put a stop to that right away.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder, will this have the opposite effect? But like, no, we can be cool. We can be cool. Batman can do the oral. We can be cool. Or will this only harden the resolve even more now, I wonder?
Oh, it'll be something like some caveat like, oh, he can do it, but the Prime Universe Batman doesn't, or some bullshit like that.
The Batman who laughs is the only one who
can.
can.
Yeah. Why do you think he's always smiling?
He's having a great time.
Yeah.
I think that long, crazy Cenobite tongue.
Yeah. That's why he's part of the dark multiverse.
Only in the dark multiverse are our heroes generous lovers. Shit. That really needs to go on a wall of like some of the stupidest stuff DC has ever said. Our heroes don't do that. Our heroes can't be happy. When they talked about, why heroes aren't allowed to get married anymore because our heroes aren't allowed to be happy. I feel like you could make a whole like quilt of just like these absolutely stupid things that they've said that make no goddamn sense.
Yeah.
Just freaking nuts. I think we can all agree, hey, let Batman eat the pussy, you cowards. Come on. Which again is weird. It's fine for Azzarello and Bruce Timm to have a whole thing where Batman has a creepy relationship with Batgirl, and that's fine.
Yeah. Maybe if you let him do it, he won't be so angry all the time.
True enough. Now that we know that no oral sex exists,
suddenly like Gotham will be like become a paradise.
Just with one thing. Yeah. No wonder everyone's upset.
Yeah.
It gets even crazier too, because like Neil Gaiman brought up an old interview where it's like, yeah, for my Sandman book and everything, I was like pushing a lot of boundaries and a lot of barriers, and the only note he apparently ever got was they had to change the word masturbation. And again, they basically said to Gaiman back in the 90s, oh, that doesn't exist in the DC universe. Really?
What did like fucking Eobard Thawne go back in time and like killed the man who came up with that or something? You like killed the man's wife or something.
It was my greatest villainous plan, Barry.
That's what the next Flash story is going to be about when they bring Eobard back.
Yeah, I went back in time.
He killed the concept of masturbation.
I killed it, Barry, so you would be miserable. You specifically. And it's like, really? Just me? Just me? It's funny, too, because, the actual, like, Harley Quinn animated comic tie-in they're doing, I think it's called Harley and Ivy, Eat, Bang, Kill? And I'm like, okay, so you can have the words, that's fine, but you can't actually imply it unless they're villains, in which it's okay.
Yeah, it's so backwards thinking.
It really is. And again, like the DC higher-ups where it's like, no, our heroes must be kept in amber forever, for all time. And I'm like, guys, you're not on the internet very much, are you?
No, you can tell they're not.
No, just search Batman with the safe surf off and see what happens. Like you might not have thought it, but trust me, other people have. That's all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. Yeah, thank you, Chad, for reminding me. I would have kicked myself if we didn't, pluck this sweet, delicious, low-hanging fruit and just num. There you go. Yeah, now is probably a good time to, remind everyone that the Cape Joel channel, according to my analytics, has at least a 5% female audience, and I think they all left right now. They're like, oh God, it's begun. I'm out of here. So if you stay, thank you. And with that, we can actually hop on to the next comic we read this week. Matt, what else did you read that didn't involve oral sex?
Heroes Reborn, issue 7.
Nah, no oral sex in this one, but some interesting stuff all the same.
Yeah.
Getting to see the Squadron actually work together after multiple issues of highlighting them and just how dysfunctional they are.
Yeah, they're starting to come together and realize that something's fucky with the universe they're in. And this was kind of like a rapid fire. I said this kind of dropped like the DC pastiche a little bit.
Sure did.
But there's still like little hints there. Like we get like a Death of Superman-esque sort of thing with Hyperion where he's murdered by Weapon X. And
they also do kind of like Civil War, Dark Avengers. They do
Yeah.
kind of a greatest hits
Yeah.
of like other great Marvel stories. The Blur one was great. I didn't even understand the Blur one. Someone had to explain that to me, where it's like, yeah, we're doing a One More Day Spider-Man
Yeah.
bit, but we're also doing a reference to Flash and Necron, which is also basically the first One More Day, Give Me
Yeah.
Your Marriage story.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty genius. And then they used Mary
That's
Jane in there as well.
Mary Jane Stewart. I'm like, okay, that's pretty fucking clever, actually. Also, that's a funny joke, and it also further showcases that the Squadron are actually quite in over their head, because even though they are essentially working for Mephisto, it doesn't stop Mephisto from fucking them
Oh
over
yeah,
either.
he still fucks with them all the time.
And they don't even know that President Coulson is in on it,
No, no.
which I thought was pretty interesting too. This late in the game, and they have no idea how manipulated they're being.
Yeah, I had originally thought that it was going to be like, oh, well, like Nighthawk knows.
Right? Yeah.
Nighthawk knows because like his job is like a congressman and everything, and he's like the Batman. I was like, of course he fucking knows, but no, he doesn't know fuck all basically.
Yeah, yeah. None of them know anything, and they are literally walking directly into a trap set by the Avengers, which I enjoyed after multiple issues of seeing the Avengers kind of on the defensive and kind of having to work underground and everything. Now they actually set the trap, and we see the script literally being flipped in the final page and being like, no, 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 we're coming to take our reality back and our top spot back.
Yeah, again, it's great. Like I've said, like the main plot of what this event would be is like the backups.
Yep.
We've been, because it's like the reverse sort of reality sort of thing. So yeah, they've now decided, no, we're gonna make this like the main story now for the big Heroes Return issue.
Which I wonder how much story is actually going to be in that one, because it's like, wow, you guys really waited for the extra issue to finish this story. But then I'm like, it's a very simple story. I don't think it was ever meant to be an event.
No. This was meant to be like just another Jason Aaron run, I think. I mean, I like that it was an event because it was quite interesting, and like I've managed to read all the tie-ins as well, and they were all pretty great.
Yeah, very impressed that you were able to do all of those. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the long and short of the issue. And Coulson once again reveals himself to be the ultimate Captain America fanboy, because his ace in the hole to try and stop the Avengers is an evil cosmic cube, basically.
Yeah, and I like that as well. It's like the when he was remaking the Earth, because he was a Captain America fanboy, he kept Cap still there, and that's the one thing that kind of like tipped his hand a little bit there, because leaving Cap means the Avengers can come back.
His great undoing, because he's such a freaking Captain America nerd, even when he's evil. In fact, even this whole thing of, I'm going to make myself president with the power of a cosmic cube. It's like, didn't Captain America do that in Secret Empire, the story you died in? Yep. Also, it's funny, he has no anger at Deadpool, and Deadpool's the one who actually killed him.
Yeah. I
thought that was a story that I'd like to see told. Coulson meets Deadpool again.
Yeah, well, maybe it might be. Maybe it might be, maybe that's why he in this universe is like just like kind of a punchline.
He's the Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Which is also funny in its own right. Man, we're getting so much Secret Empire stuff, because we got that, and then we also got Captain America meeting Rick Jones again for the first time since Secret Empire.
Yeah, that happened in obviously Captain America 25.
No, it happened in the Hulk book, actually, in Immortal Hulk.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, because like Rick Jones is like a fucking Cronenberg monster now, and Steve is like, "Oh my God, Rick, I am so sorry." And Rick's like, Cap is cool. And I'm like, oh, that's nice that they got to have this moment. Like, in the middle of this Immortal Hulk book where everything else is going on, Al Ewing is like, these two haven't had a moment yet, have they? In, like, over 3 years. They should probably have a moment.
Yeah.
And they did, and it was nice. But yeah, so that's Heroes Reborn, everyone. It's very hero-y.
Yeah, we get that finishes up this coming week.
It does. I guess that's another thing, another piece of credit we can give it at everything, the fact that it came out on such a tight schedule.
Yeah, every week. Never missed a week or anything. I guess it's like because they probably had it all written and everything already.
True. Yeah. Which is nice. I like it when events come out on time. I can't believe I have to say that, but some events don't get it.
No, some don't.
Some events miss that memo. I guess the other big Marvel story this week, and we alluded to it earlier, was, of course, Venom issue number 200, the big Donny Cates finale.
Yes, and it was fucking big. It was like 80 pages long.
Big. Oh, yeah, it was multiple writers too, because we get the epilogue basically of King in Black and what's going on with Eddie. We get a Dylan-centric story, and we get a Flash Thompson-centric story to set up Extreme Carnage.
Yeah, set up all the books that are coming up.
Yeah, which, man, never did I think that there would be a Venom book so successful that it would launch another book off the back of it.
Hey, yeah, well, crazier things have happened.
Sure has. I like the whole idea that Cates plays with stakes, and that is that, yeah, Eddie Brock defeated Null. He's the new King in Black. He rules the Clintar hive mind, but it's literally killing him.
Yeah, it's turned him into an old man.
Yeah, old man Eddie, which, I mean, everyone in Marvel gets to be old man at some point.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage.
It really is. And, you know, he's trying to do all that while trying to be a dad, and he can literally work from home because part of the symbiote hive mind is he can literally just hijack any symbiote anywhere in the universe.
Yeah, and that's shown when he goes to meet Spider-Man, and it's not actually technically Eddie, it's like a clone body, symbiote body sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I love the conversation they have, too, where it's like, what's it like being omnipotent? He's like, no, Peter, I'm not omnipotent. I'm omnipresent, but I don't know everything. I'm just everywhere at once. Which, yeah, wow, actual godhood, Eddie Brock just trying to grapple with the fact that he is now a god.
Yeah, I like that Spider-Man's like, can you just go back to being my villain? Like, it's so much simpler.
So someone in my comment section actually brought up an interesting point about that, and they're like, wow, why is it everyone around Spider-Man is allowed to grow up, have children, change jobs and everything, but he is perpetually stuck in the same, like, you know, extended childhood?
No, I blame the fans. Because the minute any writer tries to do anything remotely different with the character, they just, like, completely, like, bitch and moan until, like, everything is put back to normal.
I almost feel like Donny Cates was doing like a bit of commentary on that, because Spider-Man does his classic bit of like, oh, this is all my fault, you know, you're old now and your kid, like, oh, I wish I never, for lass as me, I wish I never brought that symbiote back from Battleworld. And Eddie just like pops his balloon being like, no, man, they were here since like the time of the Vikings.
Vietnam, and Grendel was based on him and everything,
Yeah, you don't actually need to feel bad about this. This has been completely divorced from you now. This actually has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, it's kind of cool that, like, they kind of... I guess they take that away from Spider-Man, because, yeah, for the longest time, that was, like, his thing. It's like, he's responsible for Venom. But I like that they've recontextualized it into something, like, even cooler.
In a way that works and makes sense, and it's also like, that's fine. Spider-Man has lots of other things.
Yeah.
Spider-Man doesn't need this one part, and also it probably helps too that Sony is making Venom movies on its own now, so divorce that from Spider-Man as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure with some manner of mandate. We get to check in with Dylan, and Dylan, again, some interesting development with him. He's actually kind of pissed that he doesn't have his powers anymore, and that his dad basically took them away without asking.
Yeah, his dad in his infinite godhood took all his powers away, and left him with nothing except for the actual Venom symbiote, which is his like dog now.
I love it's like a big Doberman pincher.
Yeah, and he's just allowed to take that to school.
Yeah, it's a big silly dog, and I'm like, yep, this is where the Venom suit lives now, thanks to the movie. We literally get a bit where, like, the Venom symbiote is helping make breakfast, and I'm like, but unlike in the movie, this isn't stupid, and this is actually well-deserved, and we've been building up
makes sense.
We've been building up to domestic symbiote, and I kind of love domestic symbiote.
Yeah.
Dylan even asked him, like, hey, what's your name? Because now we know that, like, you're Venom and my dad when you're together. Do you have a name? And it's like, yeah, but, like, symbiotes don't have names in words.
Yeah, it's like a sound frequency sort of thing, and he shares it with Dylan.
Which, even though Dylan doesn't have powers, he can still understand it, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Also, Dylan's still dealing with the fact that he had an evil god living in his head, and that he was basically an evil space messiah, so he often has vivid visions of him murdering his bullies.
Yeah, he gets into fights and everything at school, and like, he's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, kind of mad, but understandably so too, because he's had a really shitty life.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he goes from that shitty life to, like, you know, almost dying to now being like, okay, now you have to be a normal kid now, but I don't know how to be a normal kid now.
Yeah, and while he's having that discussion, he happens upon Jack-O-Lantern.
A Jack-O-Lantern.
A Jack-O-Lantern just mugging someone.
Which, man, how far has the jack-o'-lantern fallen
Yeah.
now that they're just mugging people in alleys now? Holy shit.
Yeah, and the jack-o'-lantern ends up shooting Dylan, and to save him, the Venom symbiote has to fuse with Dylan and become the new Venom.
The new Venom, which I love that we actually got to see the artwork for that Al Ewing Venom series, and Venom had chains around his thing. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting artist thing there. Little did I know it was a completely different Venom. That's fun that they tilted their hand and they didn't know. And Dylan's reasoning, where it's like, well, why do you have the chains? Why is it chains instead of webs? Oh, all my favorite heroes had chains growing up. Is that a Spawn reference, Donny Cates?
That's absolutely a Spawn reference.
And what's Donny Cates going to be writing? Oh, Spawn Universe that comes out this week? Or he's going to be involved in the project? Really, Donny? Everything is connected, Donny? You mad lad. You absolute mad lad, you. I love you. So that's fun. Magmaster saying didn't Punisher kill Jack-o'-lantern in the first Civil War? There's been several Jack-o'-lanterns,
there's a couple.
They're all deeply, deeply lame in different ways.
Yeah, this one's probably the lamest since he's just mugging women in the street.
Yeah, because remember there was another one during like War of Realms and everything, and then there was the nameless one for the Flash Thompson one. Oh yeah, there's been many outside just Jason Macendale.
Yep.
And hey, speaking of Flash, Flash also gets a little story. He's back to life now, and he doesn't know how to deal with it because I think this is his first resurrection. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was like trying to since it was the first time since he died like ages ago, so he's like trying to like catch himself up on the world, and he's like going to coffee shops, and they're like, "Do you want a mocha grande, whatever?" And he's just, "I just want a small coffee."
What the hell does that mean? I've been dead.
Yeah, and a bunch of green-suited goons come for him, or do they?
Or so he thinks. Yeah, it's like, oh, great, I haven't been back for longer than 15 minutes, and people are already trying to kill me. But no, they were actually after the barista, because the barista has bonded with a symbiote. In fact, lots of people have bonded with symbiotes left behind on Earth, and the symbiotes are mostly good and chill now under Eddie Brock.
Yeah, I like that. Like, he's able to calm them down and... Or he freed them, basically, because they're all, like, slaves to Null. And, yeah, I like that they're just, like, chill with just, like, I'm just going to be a barista. I'm just going to make people coffee.
And cure this guy's cancer, too, apparently, as we also heard. So the symbiotes in general are good, and you can understand why people wouldn't want to give up their symbiotes if it cured your cancer. But because this is Earth and the human race we're dealing with, it only took like 15 minutes, but there's already like a freaking racism group against symbiotes.
Yeah, they're there. They want to kill all those filthy symbiotes.
And again, the guardsmen, they got a name and costumes and an ethos. In like
they had this planned. They had this planned.
Yeah, they were just waiting. They were waiting for their chance to be prejudiced against symbiotes, and it finally came.
Oh, if it wasn't against symbiotes, it'd be against something. Well, what's it this week? It's mutants. It's Inhumans.
Really? Yeah, you're right. It's always something in the Marvel universe. If it ain't one, it's the other. Just aliens in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, when are the symbiotes going to demand their own planet or their own island to themselves? That's what I want. Eddie Brock be like, and I will take all the symbiotes and start an island. And Xavier's like,
well, I want now that, like, obviously the symbiotes, like, they can actually help people, like, with this guy cure cancer. I want them to be like, well, now we don't really need that, like, mutant
miracle
drug anymore. So, like, you know, fuck you. We're going to invade your country.
That'd be a hell of a thing. You get a choice. Do you want alien goo or mutant drugs? Geez, I don't know. Now, with the alien goo, you will have a voice in your head at all times.
But also, knowing Eddie as well, he'd be like, oh, just give it to him for free. Just, like, don't ask for anything in return or anything, unlike the mutants who want, like, fucking everything.
It's basically an adoption program is what it is. It's a symbiote adoption program.
Yeah. You get the symbiote, and then in return you'll get like cancer-free life, maybe extended lifetime and everything.
As Captain Kun said, the symbiotes are the new Skrulls. Yes, exactly. And Skrulls, add that to the list of, you know, oppressed groups within the Marvel universe that humanity seems to hate. I mean, shit, there was the Skrull kill crew there for a bit.
Yep.
And I mean, what are the guardsmen if not the symbiote kill crew? That needs to be the twist, that they were actually anti-Skrull guys who just changed their costumes. well, it's not really cool to hate Skrulls anymore because they're the good guys in the movies now.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. When are we going to get the Symbiote Nation event? I agree.
Thank you, Captain Kun, for the super chat.
Yes, thank you for that too. They can have Detroit, the symbiotes. They can just have all of Detroit.
They can just rebuild Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a big goo city. And they're like, man, say what you want about those symbiotes, but they really turned Detroit around, didn't they? But yeah, so that's Venom number 200. We have two Venoms now. We have Eddie Brock, who is the King in Black, and we have Dylan, who is the new Venom.
Yeah, and I like that Eddie's just like, yeah, that's cool. You can be that.
Yeah, works for me. I want you to be safe, and you'll be the safest with my symbiote. So there you go.
Yeah.
Also, as the chat said earlier, we totally called Kid Venom. Yeah, we did, didn't we?
It was kind of obvious. It was obvious it was heading that way.
That's what they were going. Here's my question. Does Kid Venom, does he stay in the Venom book, or because he's a teen hero now, does he get to go and join the Champions?
That's a good question.
I would love Dylan to be part of the Champions, because it's just like they're all, primary color do-gooders and everything, and he's just sitting there, let's eat people's brains.
Also, we forgot to mention that Eddie basically recommended Flash Thompson to join the Avengers.
That's right. He was on the Secret Avengers before, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and that was during the time as well where Eddie warned them about the Maker. Because the Maker's in the Ultimate Universe. That finally fucking came back.
That came back. I had completely forgotten about it. And I love Eddie being like, man, things were so crazy with Null, but you gotta worry about the Maker, guys, because he's definitely gonna come back and try and kill us all in the next event, whenever that is.
Yeah, the next big Marvel event with the Ultimate Universe coming back.
Literally, Donny Cates pointed to the bleachers. It's like, there's your next event right there, everybody.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one headlining that, because he's got that stuff. He's got the stuff he's building in Thor with that Thanos, who had the Infinity Hammer and everything, and yeah.
There's definitely places they can go with that. Maybe after the last Annihilation, that'll be their next thing.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for the cheer, Tevia. Yeah, because again, he kept threatening that for a bit, where it's like, is the Ultimate Universe coming back? I think the Ultimate Universe might really be coming back under Donny Cates.
Yeah.
It happens in Hulk. Turns out
Hulk goes to they send Hulk after the Maker.
Oh, man. And it turns out the Green Door not only lets you return from life to death, but it actually lets you walk through other universes, too, because every universe has its own Green Door.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's the thing, they could throw that out there and I'd be like, yep.
Bruce reincarnates in the Ultimate Hulk.
Oh, shit, yeah, he comes back, but he's in the wrong universe. He's like, fuck, what happened?
That might be a bit too similar to what's happening in Flash at the moment.
True. But again, hey, one good idea deserves another, yeah. Yeah, Hulk smashes the Ultimate Universe, World War Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else did you have, Matt, this week?
Let's have a look. Oh wow, we had a pretty fucking big X-Men book this week.
The biggest X-Men, in fact.
A planet-sized X-Men book.
Oh boy. It's like, man, this Hellfire Gala was pretty cool and pretty laid back. What do you think they're going to do next? Yeah, we got that Trial of Magneto coming up. We got Inferno. I don't think they're going to do anything big for a while. I think they're probably going to take it nice and easy and chill. And, the mutants took over all of Mars and terraformed it in a day.
Yeah, Magneto took what Namor said very personally.
Oh, he sure did. He goddamn, Michael Jordan the shit out of that one. Fuck that fish man.
So the mutants are having a bunch of problems with different things. They don't have enough quantity on their miracle medicine because their farms on Savage Land got destroyed by horticulture. They've got problems with the Avengers kind of asking them what's the deal with Arakko, because people are getting worried because there's now millions upon millions more mutants, so everyone's kind of
a lot more warlike.
Yeah, bit more fucking worried. All these different problems are coming up, so Magneto's like, fuck it, we're going to take a planet as our own.
Yep, who's gonna stop? I love that, because we see Magneto sitting down and have meetings with so many people. Oh, we're running out of resources. Oh, the Arakko guys keep subjugating parts of Japan. What are we gonna do, Magneto? Yeah. And he's like, everyone shut up. I have a plan in motion that will fix all of these problems at once.
Yeah, just let me do my plan.
just let me do my thing. And it's literally like the freaking creation myth Magneto. I'm going to crack the fucking planet open and add more metal to the core to make it more stable and livable.
Yeah, and then we're going to get like some Iraqi mutants to come onto Mars and like cut open his wrist and let forth an ocean. And then one's going to
just happened to happen him.
Yeah, and then one's going to turn into like the soil and like propagate the soil on Mars and make it livable. And then Storm's going to like literally like create the weather.
Which she can do, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're all basically gods, and when you all work together, you can do your own creation myth. Magneto even says, mutants do in a couple hours what it takes, the universe millions of years.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, this is cool, and it's all hard science fiction, and it ties together several other storylines, because Magneto, we discover, has basically been planning this for a bit, and he says, originally we wanted to use Franklin Richards for this, but that's a bust.
Yeah, he's a pretender. That's what they call him.
So I guess we're going to have to get some of those Erico mutants on our side, and again, they're all just like crazy weirdos, like fishmen and worm guys and everything.
Yeah, I also like that it is... I said in my review, I like that it's Magneto doing it, because he'd have like some sort of experience in this with creation of like Asteroid M and Genosha and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he's thought about it where it's like, man, I never had the power.
They're like his prototypes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's all been building this. Here's hoping, Planet Erico goes a little better than Genosha or Asteroid N did, because, all those places got really fucked up.
I hope so, but at the same time, I'm like, it probably would have if you didn't announce to the entire world that now you're in charge of the entire universe, or the entire galaxy, solar system, and you're the ones that everyone should come to, and not Earth. It might have gone well if you maybe didn't do that.
It's so great because, I remember at the end of Hellfire Gala, Emma's like, oh, and look at our fireworks, everyone. Your mind will all be connected together. I'm like, oh, that's nice. But I bet there's a sinister undercurrent. Then in this, it's like, no, she connected everyone's mind so they could see what they were doing on Mars.
Yeah.
We are modern gods of creation. We took a whole planet. What are you going to do about it?
Maybe that's the thing that everyone was pissed at. Because remember how we got that like sort of flash forward to the end of the night and everyone was kind of like upset, sort of?
Yeah. They're like, this is going to change everything. Move my stocks around.
Yeah.
It's great too, because Storm is the only like voice of reason, where she's like, so you think people are going to be upset that we colonized all of Mars without asking? And Magneto's like, humanity was never going to get off their ass and colonize Mars. What are they going to complain about? You snooze, you lose, losers.
It's like they're going to complain for the sake of complaining.
Yeah, but fuck them. Fuck them kids. Is what Magneto said. Just the brass balls on all of them is amazing. And they're like, no, see, we did it so Mars can serve as a buffer between the rest of, the scary universe out there on Earth. We really did it for you, everybody.
Yeah, and then they go announce themselves as the rulers of the solar system.
We are the kings of Mars.
Yeah.
Also, too, do you think they picked Mars just because it had an M in it?
Probably. It'll be Planet M, yeah. Or it's like Planet Araco. So
it is now. Because, that's the thing. They took it, but the Krakoans didn't keep it. They gave it to Araco. They're like, look, the Aracos are gone now. They're not going to be causing any more trouble. Krakoa's back to small again, everyone. It's okay.
I like that for a couple of reasons. Because one, it makes it look like, okay, yeah, we got rid of... It's like the mutants... it makes the mutants look kind of good. Because, like, okay, we got rid of, like, the really hyper-violent, warlike people. They're not on our planet anymore. It's fine. You guys don't need to worry about. But then it's also like... They're not on our planet anymore. They're not going to interfere in our plans to take over the world and everything. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about them now.
It's also like, you guys are going to send people to keep tabs on the Erico guys, right? Because if their culture continues the way it is, what's going to stop them before they decide, hey, we want to take over other planets?
Yeah. Are they going to take over like Saturn and Jupiter and all that next?
Yeah, the entire like thing. Is that what is it? The Last Annihilation is going to deal with that, Al Ewing?
The mutants, like, in all their like arrogance, like gave the warlike species, the warlike part of their species, a fucking planet and like the ability to like space travel. How did they think that was not going to backfire?
Absolutely, and you figure at what point, is the Kree Skrull Union going to have a problem with this, or the Shi'ar Empire? They're like, hey,
that's the next thing, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are kind of stepping on our intergalactic empire game.
Yeah.
You know, what with taking a whole planet without asking, like, come on, guys, there's rules and waiting lists for this shit.
You didn't file the correct paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. And Magneto's like, oh, yes, yeah, I have the paperwork.
That's the charm
right
of Magneto. He didn't. This is like they got him on like tax evasion or something.
They send him to space court.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that'd be funny. That's good shit. But yeah, so planet-sized X-Men showing no signs of slowing down. This is this is an epilogue for the Hellfire Gala, and also kind of like a sneak peek of what we can expect in what I assume is the Duggan book.
Yeah, the Duggan book are like at least his era of the X-Men stuff.
Yeah. As ChemDog says, you know, the Erico mutants on Mars makes complete sense, what with it being named after the god of war. Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck me. I didn't even think about that. But yeah. So yeah, real solid stuff. And again, showing that X-Men at Marvel has no sign of slowing down. And just when you think it's slowing down, oh, they take a whole planet.
Yeah. What are they going to do now? They're going to have to we're taking a reality.
Yeah, really. We're conquering a whole separate reality. The ultimate universe is ours now, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something like that. Or we went to what is it? The Maestro's Future Imperfect, and that's ours now.
Yep.
They haven't actually touched time yet. There's a lot of time traveling mutants they could do something with.
Yeah, I have to imagine that's like a sort of break glass in case of emergency sort of thing. Xavier doesn't want to fuck up. He's doing it like things in the shadows, and that might like set off some fucking alarm bells with like Kang or something.
Because I know there's a lot of mutants and a lot of X-Men in like 2099 and everything, and they kind of got their own community going around there. Wouldn't it be interesting if one of the mutants from X-Men 2099 came back in time and were like, hey, you guys changed history. My thing doesn't exist anymore.
That'd be pretty cool.
There's a story they got to tell at some point.
That'd be pretty cool just because, like, I know, like, within the current climates and everything of it, Xavier would be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about your future. It's my future now.
Yeah.
The chat saying Magneto will be taken down like Al Capone. Yeah, on tax evasion. That's how they get him.
He even wears, like, white suits and everything. And
oh, my God. All he needs to do is start smoking a cigar up there in space. Oh, shit. Yeah, I mean, come on. The mutants are already running Vice. It's just life-saving medicine instead of booze. Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right, Matt. Where are they going to go next after you terraform a planet? Unless they eventually try and conquer Earth, which I feel is ultimately going to be the end game for this whole thing.
It's set up for that completely.
Yeah. The mutants try and conquer Earth, and then that will lead to another X-Men schism. Some people will probably back the Avengers and the rest of humanity, while others will be like, no, I like this idea, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Probably a space war, because again, we kind of saw that at the end of X of Swords, where it looked like a big space war was going to start between Sword and everyone else.
Well, again, the Kree-Skrull Empire, they're part of Earth now, like because of like Hulkling and everything. So of course he's going to be against like the mutants and everything, and the way they like treat Scarlet Witch and everything. So they would totally go against the mutants.
And that'll probably be an appetizer too, to be like, hey everyone, whose side are you on, the Kree-Skrull Empire or Krakoa?
Yeah.
And they're going to remember that when the real fight comes and be like, oh, well, Avengers, you didn't help us during this space war, so we're not going to help you now.
Yeah.
Hell, we kind of saw that in King in Black, too, when everyone was surprised, like, oh, the X-Men actually came to help. We didn't expect you guys to come and help right now. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
It's just you guys have been a little weird on your island. And then as we read in the tie-ins, they're like, okay, as soon as the fight starts turning against the good guys, everyone come back home to Krakoa.
Yeah, yeah, come back home because the symbiotes are on Krakoa now.
Yeah, like they literally had a plan to escape where they're like, look, we'll make a show of helping everyone else because we're still part of the superhero community, but as soon as shit goes against us, we're going back home to Krakoa.
Yeah, we're gonna get on our space arcs and go off into the fucking space on Sword and everything.
Because we can now, because we have that. Also, too, you got to figure it's only a matter of time before the X-Men want the Phoenix Force back.
Yeah, yep.
They're like, hey guys, historically that's been our thing, so
Which I would like a story told about that. It's like, yeah, it's historically theirs, but it's not theirs.
Yeah, but historically though, so give it
Yeah,
back.
because that was the thing
Yeah,
in Aaron's run. Everyone was getting pissy because someone else other than an X-Men was using the Phoenix for something. Like, well, it's technically not theirs. Like they have been using it like every now and then, but they don't own like exclusive rights to it.
yeah, really. So yeah, lots of places they could still go in what I guess is officially the what is it, Reign of X-Men era, I guess they're calling it now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what else did we have this week, Matt? Now that we devoted so much good time to X-Men and all the goods going ons there.
I had the new Supergirl book by Tom King.
Right. See, I almost picked this up, but then I'm like, no, if I pick this up, I might not be able to get into my backlog. But I did hear good things from you and other people.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Mainly because it has a cohesive beginning, middle, and end.
No,
Like it's
really?
actually told in like how you would actually tell a story. There's no fucking random, oh, this page is in like the current present, and then this page is like 40 years in the future and whatnot.
And this panel is in freaking grayscale
Yeah.
for some reason. It's artistic.
Yeah, no, but the story, like, it's actually quite interesting and actually quite a great way to take Kara in that she technically isn't the main character of the book.
Oh.
The main character of the book is this alien woman named Ruth, and we follow her story with her father gets murdered by a guy called Krem, who's like a king's agent for on their planet, and he was like testing their family to see if they were still loyal to their king, and her father like had some ideals of his own, and he ended up getting killed for it. And the book is about Ruth searching for revenge against Krem, and she leaves her family home to go and find Krem, and sort of she tries to hire people to like kill him, and with the reward being Krem's sword that he left in her father's body, because it's like worth a lot of money and everything. And
the sword that we're seeing on the cover and everything.
yeah. She goes to like this Conan Barbarian guy, and he wants to help, but like he wants to do it on his own terms. And he'll end up betraying her later on, of course. But we find that Kara is on this planet, and she's on this planet because it's her 21st birthday. The planet has a red sun, and she's there to get fucking drunk.
Nice.
And yeah, she ends up inadvertently helping the girl when this Conan the Barbarian guy tries to like make off with the sword, and tries to like rip off Ruth basically. Ruth realizes that she's a lot stronger than she appears, because she's wearing like a cloak and everything to cover her costume, because she's not meant to like people aren't meant to see her and everything, because she's just there just getting hammered and doesn't want to disrespect the House of L and everything. So she asks Supergirl to kill this guy, and Supergirl's like, don't really do that. My world, we like save people, and that's like my job. I can't kill people. So Supergirl wants to leave because she's out of money and everything. So she's like, I gotta go home, and like I got like washing to do and shit like that. But Ruth keeps like trying, and eventually we learn that Conan dude went to Krem and like sort of got a higher bid, and now he's working for Krem and led Krem to Ruth so she can so he can kill her, so he doesn't die anyway. And Crypto and Supergirl end up getting like shot with arrows, and because it's red sun they actually get wounded and everything.
Oh yeah.
But that doesn't stop Supergirl from beating the shit out of all these people. She's so fucking angry. And yeah, the book kind of ends with them sort of dying, quote unquote, because of the arrow wounds and Ruth having to look after them.
That legit sounds really cool. The chat said apparently in interviews, apparently Tom King sold this one as like Superman meets True Grit, and I'm like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, very much. And it's like sort of like swords and sandals, sort of like adventure, like fantasy adventure sort of stuff, because the planet's like very it's like all swords and shields and like castles and stuff like that, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And
in only 6 issues, Tom King will have to get to the fucking point.
See, okay, so you think it's actually 8 issues, but
is it really?
I was sure that when this was announced, it was 6 issues, and I like went
Same.
looking just to try and find, like, I'm sure I saw that cover and it said 1 of 6, and I could only find the one that says 1 of 8, but I'm sure it was 6 issues, and I'm like, oh no, has he done the thing? Has he done the thing where he had to do 2 more issues? Oh no, what's the back half of the series going to look like?
Yeah, exactly. I needed it. Because that sounds like a great first issue.
Yeah, it's a really good first issue. It like sets up like this great story with Kara having to like sort of deal with this woman and everything, and it's great because, as I said, like Kara isn't really the main character, and I can see where they're going in this, because she keeps telling Ruth that, like, look, revenge and like vengeance and all that isn't the way. You gotta let justice do its thing, and I can see where it's going, where Kara's gonna be like that sort of inspirational hope, sort of like that symbol of justice for
to be the angel on the shoulder.
Yeah, and Ruth's gonna, like, although in classic Tom King fashion, I guarantee you that's what's gonna happen, and then at the end you'd be like, fuck justice. She'll end up like killing the guy.
Because he's a funny way of undercutting himself. But yeah, that actually sounds like a great way to do a super centric story, and that is like have the super character be part of it, but have another character you get to write that way.
Yeah.
What is it? They can maintain their character and not get too Tom Kingified.
Yeah, exactly.
Now here's the thing: to defeat this crime guy, we're going to travel back in time and frame people for a murder. No, he did it again. And it was all a dream. God damn it, Tom. I was really into this until I wasn't. No, that sounds like exactly what I want from Tom King. Something straightforward and, something you can follow and get invested in.
And now that it's only like 8 issues or 6 issues or whatever it was meant to be, it should be pretty concise.
But did Supergirl and Ruth, did they meet on a planet or did they meet in the bar?
Oh, God.
That's what the last 2 issues are.
Yeah. It's going to flash forward to like an elderly Kara, and she's taken Ruth to the doctor or something. I don't fucking know.
In a future, and Porky Pig is there too.
Yeah, because he wrote that.
One time, yeah. No, this actually sounds pretty good. This actually sounds like something that he can't fuck up.
And the book looks fucking fantastic, thanks to nice. Bill Quist-Evely's art.
Cool. I might have to look into that then. That actually sounds like something I would enjoy.
Yeah.
All right. I had one last thing this week, but because I reviewed it earlier in the week, I forgot about it. Nightwing came out this week.
It did. This was a big issue.
Very big issue, though I don't see a lot of people talking about it. Like, I don't see it setting the internet on fire, maybe because people don't believe it.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. So, yeah, it's Nightwing continuing his fight with Heartless, that brand new supervillain who was preying on the homeless community in Bloodhaven.
Mm-hmm.
And he's strong, and he's fast, and he's got a bunch of gear, but he's not as well trained or disciplined as Nightwing.
No.
So he's actually able to essentially choke him out. I love that. When in doubt, just choke him out. Choke him out. Don't care how strong you are, everybody gets choked out. And we get a really great scene there where, like, Tim Drake, who I love that he's a supporting character in this book. How great is that?
It kind of makes sense as well. I think, like, last issue, I said this is, like, the best parts of, like, Dick's time as Batman. It's basically a Batman and Robin book.
In everything but name, they found the best way to incorporate Tim here in this universe, in this story. And, he's trying to save a bunch of homeless kids from a bridge that's exploding because Heartless rigged it to explode to cover his escape. Mm-hmm. And like, oh, is Nightwing going to get there in time? You don't know. And they radio out to a bunch of ships. And no shit, I actually got a little misty-eyed over this. I thought this was so sweet. The ships all come to save the kids, despite, everyone thinking that, Bloodhaven is this shitty, corrupt city and no one helps each other. They actually do, and the ships are all named after other Nightwing writers.
Yeah.
The Seeley and the Devon. We couldn't call it the Grayson because that would just be confusing. And interestingly enough, there, I guess the Lobdell couldn't make it. I guess that one sprung a leak up. And who's the other guy? A respected writer, but turned into a massive shithead. Had long tenure on Nightwing.
I have no idea.
All he does is like the right-wing talk show circuit now. Why am I?
I know the one you're thinking of. Oh, what's his name?
Chuck Dixon.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, the Dixon ship couldn't make it because the Dixon ship got stuck at one of those Trump boat parades. So it couldn't come to help. And even the Jurgens came too. The Jurgens was also sure to flip off Jon Stewart, the comedian, not the character, but it was able to come too. Ooh, I love bits like that. Like, oh yes, all our favorite writers, not those two guys though. Nope. They go over there. But yeah, so it's a fun issue. Dick gets a concussion right around the same time that Oracle gets him up to speed on everything that's been happening with Melinda Zuko, the new mayor of Bloodhaven now. Yeah, which I like. But no one mentions the fact that like this is actually the second time Nightwing has dealt with a daughter of Zuko.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers everything, but we don't remember Sonya Zuko, and that this actually kind of happened one time before. Oh well. And all of Dick's friends being like, "No, don't you go fight her. Don't you go try and talk to her." It's like, I won't. I'm totally doing it though.
Yeah.
And because he's concussed, her girlfriend is actually able to like beat the shit out of him with a baseball bat.
Yeah, catches him off guard.
Catches him off guard. It's like, oh, she actually is well trained, unlike Heartless, and also I have a concussion. This was a bad idea. Why did I do these things? And we find out a little bit more about Melinda. Apparently, she's got like a whole file at the FBI that's redacted, which is really mysterious. And, Tony Zuko abandoned her when she was 8, and she's basically been raised by Sal Maroni and the Maroni family in Bloodhaven. But wait, maybe that's not the case because she unmasked Dick and she has something to say.
Yeah, she says that she's Dick Grayson's sister.
Yes, yeah, she's his brother. Yeah,
his brother.
Story.
Yeah,
Really
you didn't see that coming.
No, you didn't. They're really blowing the fucking doors off this one, aren't they? Going in some bold new directions. But yeah, she says that John Grayson was her father and that you are my half-brother, Dick Grayson.
Yeah. Which
begs a million questions. It's like, wait. Did Tony Zuko kill the Flying Graysons because John Grayson was fucking his wife? Is that what they're implying here?
Probably.
Holy shit. Didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, it's also just as likely maybe the Maronis lied to her and this has all been part of some big long game to get back at Dick and get back at Nightwing.
Yeah. Well, I thought when reading this, because like one of the big running plot points is that Dick just came into a shitload of money.
Yes.
And it's like, is this like a big ploy to get into on his like his fortune?
Absolutely. Because, yeah, she apparently had, like, a record at the FBI, so is she, like, some sort of white-collar criminal stealing people's fortunes and everything?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. Now would also be a fun time, too, to actually bring back Sonya Zuko. Now that we know Tony Zuko had, like, no hand in raising this woman, it would be funny for Taylor to be like, no, I didn't forget Zuko had another daughter.
That could actually be cool, and it would be a good way to, like, also maybe turn Melinda into sort of a hero.
Yes.
Because like as well, like she's not really evil per se at the moment.
She looks to be trying to play both sides of things.
Yeah, like playing a blockbuster and everything against everyone else and whatnot. And yeah, I could see it like maybe using that as like, oh, this will be her villain for the book.
Right. Also, having, a friend in politics would be a good way for Dick to try and, right the wrongs of Bloodhaven. Because he even said to Tim and Oracle, it's like, well, fuck, if the mayor is this dirty, then, my job of cleaning up the city just got much harder because it's corrupt from the top down, not just the bottom up.
Yep.
Which, yeah, would be interesting if he had a friend and they had to unite to fight Blockbuster and the mob and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of fun places they could go with it. Yeah, also, people were quick to say, too, yes, another secret sibling plot line and so close to Spider-Man and Teresa. What are the odds of that? I'm like, well, that's just comic books in a nutshell. Everyone's discovering secret siblings they didn't know they had.
Yeah. Happened in fucking Superman and Lois this week as well.
Oh, did that happen this week too? I haven't watched it.
Yeah, the Morgan Edge character is revealed to be a Kryptonian who's Superman's half brother.
I did watch that. What was it? Tau something or other.
Ro.
Tal Rowe, which is not from the comics because I think I would get it.
No.
Also, thank you, Pat Senior, for hosting. Always appreciated. Yeah, I didn't see the Kryptonian twist coming in that. I'm like, okay, I guess if we're gonna have another, it is. I'm like, I guess if you're gonna have another evil Kryptonian, I'm glad you didn't use Zod again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad there's other evil Kryptonians. Though I will admit I had my fingers crossed. I'm like, come on, Jaxer. He's Jaxer. Come on, he's Jaxer. He's not Jaxer. Did some fun stuff with his mom, too, in that episode, too, didn't they?
Yeah.
which they basically kind of did the Superwoman from the comics there.
I was going to say
Lana.
they're probably actually going there.
Yeah, which, man, holy shit, won't that be interesting?
Lana's going to have powers now.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Supergirl, didn't we see like a new Supergirl costume? What was that from? I only just saw when we hopped on.
That was from the Flash movie.
Oh, right, because there's going to be a new Supergirl.
Yeah, that was from the Flash movie. And it looks alright.
Yeah, it's not Kara, it's another Supergirl.
Well, people are theorizing it's like Sir-El or Superman's daughter, because it's a Superman.
Wow.
It's a Supergirl from a different universe.
Wow, Sir-El, it has been forever since I've thought of her. She was the daughter of Clark and Lois, yeah?
Yeah, the like short hair. I had the black costume with the big red S.
Yeah, from like another universe, and she'd like pop in occasionally.
Yep.
Wow, man, that is going way the fuck back now. She is the forgotten Supergirl. Wow, no one has mentioned her in forever, and yet that might be the one they do the movie about. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh. Huh. So, yeah, is that everything from this week, Matt? Is that everything covered? I feel like it is.
I had 2 more books.
Okay, go quick with them then, or else.
I had Iron Man this week.
Oh, right, Christopher Cantwell. It's been a while since you talked about it.
Yeah, Iron Man issue 9. It also had the... we didn't talk about it the other week, but it also had the annual out, and I'm like, oh, cool, an annual. I picked it up. It's fucking Infinite Destinies. Remember Infinite Destinies?
Yes, I saw, because Captain America was also an annual this week. I'm like, oh, is this Ta-Nehisi Coates? No, it's Destinies. No, bad.
I'm like, holy shit. They just dumped that in the middle of nowhere.
No promotion, no nothing.
No,
Infinite Destinies is now, everybody.
Yeah, but issue 9 of Iron Man was so fucking good. It didn't actually feature Iron Man at all.
Really?
It did, but in a flashback for one page. This whole issue was about Michael Korvac, and he turns up on a planet and he digs up a hole, and in that hole is Jim Hammond.
Oh shit, the original Human Torch.
Yeah, he decided he was sick of everyone's shit and decided after that last Invaders run that he's just going to go off into the universe and dig himself a hole just to be left alone.
Fair, can't judge him. Good idea.
And we learned that Korvac dug him up because Jim was technically, when he was made by Phineas Horton, he was technically called Adam 1.
Yes.
And when Korvac was made in this new robotic body, android body, he's Adam 4. So he's technically Jim Hammond's brother.
Interesting.
And he wants Jim to join him in his quest to like bring peace and prosperity to the universe through making everything look the same and like sort of controlling it with the power cosmic. And to do that, he offers Jim a new body, wants to rebuild his body, because his body at the moment is like a shitty like Iron Man one that Tony made. And that's right. Like why as well he's gone to Jim as well, because he's like, oh, Tony made you look like this and he's arrogant and he's kind of a dickhead. I want to help you like realize your full potential and everything. And through building the body, Korvac wants to also show Jim what he has planned for the universe and what he plans to do and everything. And he hopes that like in showing him from his own mind, by linking the two minds together, that Jim will help him. And we see like that the original like Korvac saga stuff where he had the power cosmic and he like killed the Avengers but then brought them back and killed himself and everything. And because Jim didn't know any of that happened, he thinks the Avengers are actually dead. So he's like really angry and everything and like plans on stopping Michael, but thanks to the controller being part of Michael's squad, they actually installed contingencies, so with a flick of a switch they can turn Jim Hammond into a just like a remote control weapon for them.
Shit.
But it's really cool because at the end, Michael was like really upset with that because he says at the end, it's like, I didn't want a weapon, I wanted a brother. I wanted someone to that I could do this with, so I don't have to do it with alone. But I guess I'll just settle for a slave.
All I can think too is we now have to add Michael Korvac to the ever-growing family tree of original Human Torch.
Yeah, Vision and
also Vision.
Yeah.
Because people forget the original Vision body was also based on that, and Ultron and Pym and everyone else there. Yeah, great. Now we got to add that one to the board. Someone get on that, everyone. Someone add that to the board.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was a really good issue. I like that it was just like like a stop in the story just to like tell this great Michael Korvac, Jim Hammond story.
Yeah, I mean, shit, anything with the original Human Torch on it gets my seal of approval. I'm gonna have to check that out before I start reading United States of Captain America, which Cantwell is also doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's kind of their superstar right now for what is it, all the major Avenger tent poles.
Yeah, is he going to take over Thor next and then Hulk?
Yeah, really. Yeah, really. He's just gonna ride them all. It's gonna be the Cantwell comic universe. Geez, how come no one's pitched Cantwell for Spider-Man? Seems like he's writing everything else.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Apparently they're loving him there at Marvel. And what was the last one you had? If I had to guess, I'd say it's something Star Wars.
I did do Star Wars, but I actually want to talk about Squadron Savage, the Heroes Reborn tie-in. This is just Suicide Squad.
Nice.
This is a Suicide Squad set up by Elektra, who goes and gets Punisher, who still has his kids and everything, except in this universe he was like, he's basically Floyd Lawton.
Right. He also got name dropped. What is it in the main Heroes Reborn this week?
Yeah. He's still got his kids and family and everything, and he reluctantly comes back to help Elektra because their mission is to take down a threat that looks like it wants to try and rewrite their reality. And she assembles a squad with like Murder Hornet and Crossbones, who gets like a cool like Iron Man armor.
I love the designs on this one.
And Cloak, who wants revenge against the Redeemers, who they're fighting because they killed Tandy.
Of course.
And they end up going into like was it the People's Republic of Chernia, basically like Marvel Russia.
Right.
Into this facility, and they end up fighting the Redeemers, and we learned that Tandy didn't actually die. She joined the Redeemers because as we find out, all of the team have been fucked over by behavioral modification, because instead of bombs in their head, they get their memories wiped and changed and everything. So like Frank still thinks he has a family when he doesn't. His family died in a skirmish between the Squadron Supreme and the Circus of Crime.
Right, and they mentioned that in the main Heroes Reborn book, actually.
Yeah. So all the team have been like fucked over throughout the whole book. Like most of the team dies. Once Punisher remembers who he is, he ends up killing Crossbones because they're in this universe are like arch nemesis, and he just like shoots him in the head, and he ends up getting stabbed and like taken down, and all the Redeemers end up dying except for Foxfire or anything. We learned who their target was, and their target was Kang the Conqueror.
Oh shit, that seems important.
Yeah, Kang the Conqueror, who'd come into because he knows something's fucked up with the Heroes Reborn universe, and he wants to set it back to what it was. So she's technically not the villain; he's the good guy. And they end up killing him in a really great way because to kill him, they needed a special bullet that could like pierce like through anything, including adamantium. And Elektra went to Alexander Lukin to get the bullet. And she also picked something up else on the way, and that something else was Winter Soldier, which she kept hidden in Cloak's cloak in his dark dimension. So Kang's like, I know all your moves. I know all 5 of you will do this, this, and this. And she's like, but I have a 6th. And he like pulls him out of the cloak and like shoots Kang in the head. But then he also he ends up getting killed as well. And yeah, their mission finishes, and we learn that the Secretary of Defense, Wilson Fisk, he's like the one behind the team. He's like the Amanda Waller sort of the team. Elektra figures out that like they have like their minds wiped at the end of every mission, and she's like, I don't fucking like this. It's like, but there's nothing she can do because it's already happened. So yeah, they end up having to like go off on another mission, and now they've recruited even more people from the Redeemers that didn't die. They get their mind wiped and then put on the team to fill in the gaps and everything.
Oh shit. Yeah,
it's cool. It's a cool change up of like the Suicide Squad sort of stories.
Yeah. Sounds interesting.
And I reckon it's even more like fucked up as well, because instead of like bombs in the head, you can like get out and everything. But like these people are like fucking with their minds and like making Frank Castle see his like dead kids and everything. And
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like what Kovic did to the Secret Avengers back when Nick Spencer actually started doing that. I wonder if that was a reference.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that sounds fun. Is that everything then for this week, finally?
That's everything.
All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming and joining us. This was a lot of fun, as always. We got to cover a lot of books this week, got to cover a lot of news. I think have a lot of fun, too, along the way, didn't we?
Yeah.
As always, if you're a patron, you'll get to listen to this episode first before anyone else in both audio and video formats. You become a patron for as little as $1 a month, $5 for the video feed. Thank you for joining us on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you, Captain Kun, for our donation for tonight. That's always much appreciated. We'll be sure to put that right back into the machine.
Yes.
You got our promo code there, Cape Joel, for 10% off your next purchase of delicious Wild Bill Craft Soda. You can do that. I actually put in to try and get some Magic Spoon, actually, because it seems like all the podcasts I listen to are sponsored by fucking Magic Spoon, and they're making that cereal sound delicious, Matt. I want some cereal. This is how I run my business, everyone. I don't know what's actually good for me. I just hear what other shows are doing and want it. Same reason why I almost got that chewable Viagra as well for us.
Oh, you should have gotten that.
One day, Matt, we're going to get the Blue Chew. We are going to be the Blue Chew comic book show. I was talking to Sal about that, and he's like, chewable Viagra? Aren't all pills technically chewable? It's like, yeah, if you're brave enough. If you want to go for it, you can go for it. So thank you, everyone, and we'll be back again next week, same time. And, yeah. See you then.
See ya.